We just changed seasons from summer to fall, and I always notice at this time of year that there seems to be an uptick in content from everything from social media to here on YouTube to writing platforms. And I sense that it's also happening in places that are outside of the public eye, like in pottery studios or on the desks of hand letterers. It got me thinking that everything that happens at this time of year, the leaves changing, us bringing those fabrics back into our closets, and the seasonal drink menus are all stimulating our senses and helping us to see things through a new lens. But most of us are not seasonal producers. We create things all year, and we need to keep that stream of inspiration flowing if we want to continue to make things. I've always considered myself to be a bit hyper-inspired. So in this video, I'm going to share my 3 go-to sources of inspiration, but more importantly, how I use these sources and channel them into my work. I hope you'll stick around to the end because I will conclude this conversation by sharing a bonus tip on how you can become an expert curator using a tool that I'm pretty sure 99% of you already own. With a steady stream of inspiration, you'll never run out of ideas or lack motivation to create. So let's jump in so that you can get back to work and start implementing these sources right away. Call me basic, but Instagram is where I spend the most amount of time on the internet and probably too much of my life. So if I am giving it a substantial amount of my attention, it needs to give something back to me. If you can relate to this, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. But instead of feeling shameful, let us use this platform to the fullest. When I am on Instagram and I see something that inspires me, I don't keep scrolling or tapping to get to the next story. I pause. I stop. I take it all in and I think about what is it that is making me gravitate toward this video or this image. And then I engage with it by tapping that heart button, leaving a comment, reposting it to my Instagram story, or sharing it with a friend, either by using the DM option or by sharing a link and then sending it via text. It doesn't matter which of these options you use, but what is most important is that you are engaging with that content right away and sharing why it speaks to you. You may have heard this phrase and are sick of hearing this phrase, slow your scroll, which is a social media creator's way of trying to grab your attention. But it's up to us to deem who and what is worthy of our attention. So we should always be trying to hone that discernment. Use that mute button, use that unfollow button, and it'll help you curate a feed that speaks most to your personal taste. By being an active participant with the content you love, liking, sharing, commenting, all of those actions will help inform the algorithm and more content like it will flow your way. And when that happens, you're going to find yourself naturally slowing your scroll to take in that content in a deeper and more meaningful way that's going to stay with you and spark ideas the next time you sit down to create. While I hadn't considered myself to be an auditory learner, I'm rethinking it because I absorb more information from podcasts than any other medium, despite the fact that I'm usually multitasking while listening. I love that podcasts are so intimate. I know that I share a lot of things on my show that I don't share anywhere else. And because when you listen to my podcast, you are consuming my thoughts in my voice, you catch the nuances. You can hear when I'm laughing uncontrollably or when I get choked up. I love that we have the opportunity to listen and connect with so many people, so many podcasters in that way through this audio medium. The most inspiring types of podcasts for me are ones that have deep conversations or long interviews with creators who give unedited versions of their stories and share how they got to where they are now and where they think they're going next on their journey. A few shows that come to mind are The Ish, No One Tells You About Writing, that interviews authors and writers. Another show called The Good Life Project that's hosted by Jonathan Fields, who interviews people in a lot of different industries, but all asking that core question, what does it mean to you to live a good life? And lastly, an old show called Magic Lessons with Elizabeth Gilbert. I don't think it's been updated since 2016, but it is a great series crafted to help aspiring creatives and artists to overcome their fears so that they can create with more joy. I will link to all three of those shows along with my podcast below. When I think about inspiration, it's not just about what we see, but getting that reassurance that we are on the right path and that we are not alone when we stumble or fail. It's the thought behind my new Substack called Inspiration Everywhere, designed to help creatives feel supported in whatever it is they're pursuing. In addition to weekly accountability prompts, Inspiration Everywhere is also a place where you will find resources and ideas to make your work your best. So if you are enjoying this video, I know that you will love this Substack as well. You can sign up for free using the link below, or if you would like to access the full archive, participate in accountability check-ins, and support the newsletter, you can choose the paid option for a low monthly price, about the same as one fancy coffee. This last inspiration source may be my favorite because it's the one that we all have access to. Whether you want to go to all the corners of the earth or stay put in your little town, it doesn't matter because there is inspiration everywhere if you are willing to spot it. And that is our job as artists, to constantly be mining and foraging our lives for material that we can incorporate into our work. The reason I'm giving such a broad answer as the world is because we are all attracted to different things. So what might inspire me may mean nothing to you. But to give you an example, here are two of the places that inspire me most. The first is hotel lobbies, especially in nice hotels that are decorated very thoughtfully. I love taking in all of those choices: the fabrics, the scale, the placement, the signature scent. All of those things tell a story. And I love that anytime I visit a nice hotel, it's like I am stepping into one. But you don't have to be staying at a nice hotel to use their lobby. So don't be afraid to pop in and have a look around. And if you decide to stay there for a little while, you'll be treated to a bonus bit of inspiration, as I find hotel lobbies the most marvelous place to eavesdrop, learn about other people, or maybe strike up a conversation with a stranger. On the flip side of that, the other place that inspires me most is a place where there aren't any other people. And that is on my back patio, where it is peaceful and quiet, aside from the birds and the squirrels and the geckos and my kitties who love to sit out there with me. Just like an overstimulating place can be a feast for the eyes and the soul, so can a place that is more like a blank canvas, a place that feels safe and comfortable for you to be able to let your imagination run wild and entertain some of those ideas that may have been trapped below your subconscious. You may remember that game we played as kids where we laid out on the grass and looked up at the sky, watched the clouds go by, and would call out the different objects or shapes that we saw those clouds to be. I still play that game. I lay on the porch and I watch the clouds go by, watch the storms roll in, the trees swaying, the way the sunshine leaves little trails of light. To me, there is more inspiration in that little space than anywhere else on earth. One last parting tip to help you become an expert inspiration curator is going to be something that might drive your loved ones crazy, but that is to take pictures wherever you go. My phone is always out. I take pictures of signs, I take pictures of vegetables in the supermarket, strangers holding hands, interesting textures, and things that are inside jokes. I don't always go back and reference them or do anything that's particularly useful with them, but the practice itself is a great creative act because it means that you're keeping your eyes open and noticing that there is inspiration around us always and everywhere. And if this doesn't come naturally to you, this is another feature that I have incorporated into Sunday Inspiration Everywhere posts, and that is an inspiration treasure hunt that prompts you to use your senses and find or experience 7 random things every week. Inspiration is bountiful, but it is also very personal. I love that there is always more happening around us than we as humans are able to process or consume. So that means that each of us are experiencing slightly different realities, and I find that to be so interesting. Let me know in the comments, what corners of the world are most inspiring to you? And even better, share how you may have taken that inspiration and incorporated it into something that you created. If you're looking for more videos to help you stay uplifted so that you can create your best work, you can click here. And until we meet again, get out there and make something beautiful.